Hello, hello, Kurt. This is Richard Wilson of Mad Shelley Films Under the Flowers, and I just wanted to call and let you know that wonderful things have been happening since the Kapow Film Festival. Lots of people interested, and looks like we are going to have a third season, so I'm very thankful and wanted to let you guys know and pass on the good vibes, and also loving the show completely. And I kind of like, even though you haven't asked, I'm going to do like the whole, thing that I'm going to do in a minute, which is, this is Richard Wilson of Mad Shelley Films, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto Radio. That was terrible, so I'll do another one. This is Richard Wilson of Mad Shelley Films, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto Radio. That's about as good as it's probably going to get today. Anyway, I hope to talk to you in the future. Also love the fact that I'm discovering as I listen that you're...
Thank you, Richard Wilson, for kicking off another episode of Inspirado Projecto. Richard Wilson he has created Mad Shelley Films. Mad Shelley Films has made the Halloween Girl series. So there's Halloween Girl and also Under the Flowers. They're all under the same umbrella. And the thing, too, is that he started writing like comic books, the screenplay versions of these things, but for comics. And so these comic books have been coming out, and so you could get these on Amazon. They're so good. The art goes perfect with the dialogue. And he's just an innovative editor, director, storyteller. I just remember when he entered the Under the Flowers series at the Kapow Intergalactic Film Festival when I was working there. It was just awesome to see these up on the big screen. And he's so good with the sound. And Richard Wilson is one of those people. I've been running into more and more of these people, and making certain that I stay in contact with these people is the spirits that are so familiar to me. And so, and I realized, okay, there's a familiarity here. We obviously know each other from a past life. So this episode has to do with me going on a journey on Easter, going on a journey. So we have some interesting surprises on this episode. I cannot get into the deep details here. However, I can tell you that Henry D. Horse will, in fact, give you a fun fact. Man Behind the Machine podcast. Man from Man Behind the Machine. He has asked a very intriguing question, which will be coming on up. Maria Humphreys from Strong Body, Strong Soul has a few things to say. And Micky Dolenz has something else to say. And we may or may not include the Facepalm theme song at the end of this episode. So if you'd like to hear that, stick around. Happy Easter, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, creatures and entities. It is now 12:12 in the PM. I love it. I love it. That's 3 and 3, and 3 and 3 is 6. Wowzers, that's a magic number. The time is now, the 17th. Yeah, April 17th. 1 and 7 is 8. That's infinity, baby. So we're doing a good job here. I'm going to meet up with Dave Uchansky and Ryan, as I call him, MC McGonagle. I said that would be a great, like, if you become like a DJ or something, you're MC McGonagle. Ryan McGonagle, Dave Uchansky, my buddies from the Bloody Bobby stuff. Check out bloodybobby.com sometime if you get a chance. Check out bloodybobby.com. By the way, you're listening to Inspirado Projecto podcast, where you just hear lots of field recordings, experimental audioscapes, interviews, epiphanies, synchronicities, etc., and so forth. And, of course, audience participation. So I'm heading up to the subway right now. These are some of the best times to do the podcast because I'm out and about. Or if I were from Canada, oot and a boot. I'm oot and a boot. Hello, I'm oot. And I'm a boot. Nice to meet you guys. And together, we're oot and a boot. Great. It's like, what, Tweedledee, Tweedledum? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Today's new version. But it's Oot and a Boot. Oot and a Boot. We're the traveling jesters. Traveling jesters. You know, I need to do some more research into the medieval times, jesters, fools, bards, etc., and so forth. For a while, I've wanted to do an idea of a queen falling in love with a jester and naughty things going on behind the scenes. How do you keep something like that secret? How do you know who you can trust when something like that's going on? How do you know who you can trust? So that's a pretty big, maybe the queen has an alias or something. Maybe the jester has an alias, and there's that raven again. I'm walking through the neighborhood, there's that raven again. Hello. Happy Easter. There's that raven again. I think it might be the same one. God, that would be so great if it was. That would be so great if it was. I keep seeing the raven around, and you've been listening to the episodes. So, I was thinking about this today. I had an extraordinary conversation with Mary Milhone last night. Mary Milhone works over at the Coach House, which is where Yachtly Crew plays at, and already it's sold out over there, as I like to say, sailed out. Sailed out. And it's over in, San Juan Capistrano, close to San Diego, from the little I understand. And so she said it's sailed out already. She says every third call is someone asking about a particular show, and then the next question is, oh, by the way, what's going on with that band Yachtly Crew? I hear they're really good. So it's really cool. It's really exciting to know that this stuff is getting out there like this. Just very exciting. And so I had this great conversation with her, and I've realized more and more as I have more and more of these great conversations with people who are brainstormers, just sort of yes and improv type of mindsets where they go with the flow. There's no, mission of trying to convince me of something or trying to bring me over to whatever their official opinion is, or trying to get me to, argue against me or with them, or, there's nothing like that. It's just pure conversation. Conversation is an art form. It is an art form. It's a beautiful art form. It's a spell-casting art form. In sounds, in nouns, in vowels, in adjectives and adverbs. It keeps moving and grooving, rocking and rolling, corkscrewing ups and downs, zippity-zaps. It's a theme park. Conversations should be a theme park, because they're enjoyable that way. And so I realized that, okay, what is it that we're expecting to get out of a conversation? If we kind of think about that intention when we enter a conversation, what do I want to get out of this? Do I want to feel good at the end of this conversation? Maybe a lot of laughs, maybe a lot of jokes, a lot of, wordplay and stuff, puns. And so you kind of think to yourself, what do I want to get out of this? How do I want to feel? I want to feel good. I want to feel satisfied. And so what's interesting is a lot of our stories these days, while I'll say a lot of the stories that I will hear from those who are mostly watching, the news, caught up in their political identities, whatever, all that stuff, stuck in that stuff. I don't hang up a phone or exit a conversation with that feeling good. I don't feel good. And I cannot be good to others if I don't feel good, and I don't have goodness to disperse, you see. It takes me a while to get off of, after getting off the phone with these people, it takes me a little bit of time to kind of go, shake it off, and then start a new momentum more towards a pleasurable direction, you see. So I was thinking about how in a lot of conversations, because we're brought up with, cartoons, people fighting against each other, of course, sports, any sort of things that have to do with competition or us versus them mindsets. There's this idea of when they're talking, they have to tell you all of the dramatic stuff. So in the conversation, you're listening to it, and ultimately, I think to myself, I want to hear, the happy ending. How did the conflict get resolved? What was, you tell me, oh gosh, dun dun dun, there I was. Oh, I was in a tight jam. I didn't know what the heck to do. I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. And then, boom, 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 suddenly I remembered there was this thing in my pocket, and I had the key that opened the door I needed. Or holy cow! Then I remembered, there's Johnny Bag of Donuts that I went to high school with, who said, give him a call anytime there's a question about this type of thing. Well, this is that type of thing. Time to talk to him. That aspect of here, that satisfaction, watching a movie and coming out of it going, wow, that was triumphant. That hero went through a journey, the hero's journey. As Joseph Campbell likes to talk about. Joseph Campbell. So in those conversations, there's that dun dun dun. You're riding on the edge of panic. They want to take you through a journey of like, oh gosh, and then there was this conflict, and there was that conflict, and then there was this person I had to tell off, and that person, and there's all this other stuff I had to fend off, and dun dun dun. I didn't think I'd make it out alive, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and so that's not necessary. To get that dopamine. It's not necessary to hear the drama. It's possible to get that dopamine, the good, positive kind of like good vibe, encouraging, exciting, enjoyment type of dopamine from having those conversations with people where you are just as excited about their success. You're just as excited about their goals, their milestones, them putting their intentions into action and watching those sprout. Because the more that we see, it's so interesting, because the more that we're encouraging those people to keep sprouting and to keep doing the best that they can at what they absolutely love doing, they are now like engaged and fully focused at their utmost, highest vibrational, purest element. This is me. This is what I'm doing. Bam. Boom. Train of thought going through. No stopping. And like, whoa, and then we share in that excitement. And what happens when someone's feeling good? When you're feeling good, you're feeling generous. When you're feeling good, you're feeling excited. You're like, oh yeah, there's a pep in your stride. You start maybe complimenting the cashiers, the bank tellers a little bit more. You start saying Happy Easter to strangers on the street. You just keep moving that along, and it just keeps reflecting on everyone that they care about anyway. So, hey man, Happy Easter. We'll see if he got the joke. Perhaps he did, perhaps he didn't. But you know what it is? That in itself is an Easter egg. Letting him decide, wait, did he just say Happy Easter or Happy Easter? Hey, you guys, Happy Easter.
Hey,
Happy Easter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, puts a little pep in your step, right? If everyone's encouraging each other, go, 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 go. It feels good. And then we can look at those people not as a barometer of how crappy we're doing, or how bad of a job we're doing, or how ashamed we are because we haven't gone as far as they have, or whatever those crazy spell casts that just keep getting perpetuated, recycled, regurgitated, precipitated. That right there is the climate change, baby. That is the key to the climate change. So change the attitude, change the thoughts, change the excitement, switch it on over to phenomenality mode, and you got yourself blue skies and bright sunshine and shape-shifting clouds that are smiling. It just helps everybody. Just helps everybody. So in those conversations we're having, to tie this all up before I go down into the subway, is encouraging the folks. Having conversations where you're going, ooh, tell me more. Tell me more about this interesting theory you have, this philosophy. It's different than my own. You know, where did you get those ideas? Take me down the rabbit hole. So, happy Easter to you. And I'll be recording more later with Dave and Ryan. I'll interview them. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Maybe one of these days I'll get them to drive out here to California and go see a show with me to go see you guys. Oh my gosh, I have had so much fun over the years interacting with you, Kurt, and going to see Yachtly Crew at the Canyon Club, at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. In fact, I might be seeing you guys. I might be able to catch you in Carlsbad, Oceanside area in July. I saw you were on the schedule and you're playing at a venue where my nephew is actually doing some theater workshop over the summer. And you are on the calendar already for that venue. How fun is that? But you know how I am. Here I go. I'm going to ramble a little bit about techie stuff, and I'm going to let your listeners know some sneaky ways to get their voices onto your show. I'll be right back.
Thank you, Maria Humphreys from Strong Body, Strong Soul. Thank you for calling in. And thank you for wanting to bring your friends out to a Yachtly Crew show. We have a show on the 22nd and 23rd. The 22nd is in Bakersfield, actually, and it's already, as we like to say, sailed out. And then the 23rd, very next day, we are at the Whiskey, another sailed out show. 2 sailed out shows in a row. Wow. Strike? You know, I'm just imagining like the sound of those bowling balls just going knocking down the pins. Just like dominoes, tumbling, mumbling. We are going to be let's see if I can find out. No, I don't know. I don't want to mess. I don't want to mess with this. We're going to be in quite a few different places. So chances are we might end up being out there, visiting where your friends are at. Visit yachtlycrew.com. Maybe it's easier if you visit yachtrockband.com. That is yachtrockband.com. And there is, in fact, something to pay attention to. We have an original song that will be played if you live out in Los Angeles. KLOS 95.5, KLOS. If you tune in to Heidi and Frank, Yachtly Crew, at the 9 a.m. hour, you will hear us play a brand new song. A brand new song. So, yeah, we shall see. Check it out. Thanks for listening to Inspirado Projecto. And I'm not sure what's next, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. Wowzers. I bet you I can make this on time. Ooh, this is awesome. Ooh, this is great. I didn't think I had reception down here. It's crazy. I actually have reception down in this subway. All right, so let's see. Can we find a seat by myself? And we can, and I found one. Here we go. All right. So intriguing just to think that, the whole symbolic representation of Easter, just thinking about the idea of pukas. Have you ever heard of a puka? A puka. Hold on, let me do a little research here. Let's see if I get internet down here. It is a guardian at times. Let's see, puka. So basically what I'm getting at here is that the Easter Bunny is a puka. The rabbit in Donnie Darko is a puka. Henry in the movie with Jimmy Stewart, that is a puka. And so it's from Celtic folklore. So here we go. A puka, and the way you can spell this is P-U-C-A. Oh, or if it's plural, pukai, P-U-C-A-I, pusai. Another way to spell it is P-O-O-K-A. And another way to spell it is P-H-O-U-K-A. Fuka. So the puka is primarily a creature of Celtic folklore, considered to be bringers both of good and bad fortune. They could help or hinder rural and marine communities. Pusai can have dark or white fur or hair. So imagine that, the white rabbit, that's fur, white fur. The one in Donnie Darko, that's dark fur. The creatures were said to be shape changers, which could take the appearances of horses, goats, cats, dogs, and hares. Well, that's a rabbit, that's a bunny. A hare. We rarely hear about that anymore. They may also take a human form, which includes various animal features such as ears or a tail. The puka has counterparts throughout the Celtic cultures of Northwest Europe. For instance, in Welsh mythology, it's named the puka, P-W-C-A, puka, and in Cornish, the buca, B-U-C-C-A. The buca, thus being related in etymology and milieu to the bugaboo. Interesting. So the buca is part of the bugaboo thing. In the Channel Islands, the P-O-U-Q-U-E, the puka, were said to be fairies who lived near ancient stones. In Norman French of the islands, example, Jarret, a cromlech or prehistoric tomb is referred to as a pouquelee, P-O-U-Q-U-E-L-E-E, or P-O-U-Q-U-E-L-A-Y, pouquelee. You can, then corresponding terms in Brittany are Poulpiquet, P-O-U-L-P-I-Q-U-E-T, Poulpiquet, and Polpegan, P-O-L-P-E-G-A-N, Polpegan. Interesting. Polpegan. I used to love this game called Pole Position. When you're driving a car and you're going down the street, that's what it feels like sometimes when you're on the subway, because it's just going and you can see the lights around you. It'd be cool if you did sort of a version of that, but you call it pole pagan, and you're riding on the back of a puka. All right, so art and popular culture. Here we go. We're going to go through the hands of time here concerning the puka. Shakespeare's 1595 play, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Whoa, this is interesting. This is interesting. Because Lisa Bowman told me, and what I'm telling you right now, this is a side note, this is not the Wikipedia page. Lisa Bowman told me that I have a closeness to A Midsummer Night's Dream. That I've been in that production throughout the years, throughout my past lives. Wow. Shakespeare's 1595 play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, features the character Robin Goodfellow, who's also called Sweet Puck, a version of the puka. I did not know that. I remember seeing that character Puck. I remember seeing a version of that, and my buddy Darren, who I sometimes substitute teach improv for, he played Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Okay. In this short story, The White Cat of Drumgoyal, 1870, by J. Sheridan Le Fanu, the white cat is a fuca. In Altor de Lacy, A Legend of Capriculin, 1861, the children see a fuca's tower. It just goes and goes. Goes and goes. Like, it's incredible. I gotta pay more attention to the puka. To the fuka. Look at this. A puka appears in the 1959 Disney film Darby O'Gill and the Little People in the form of a horse. In the 1950 film Harvey with James Stewart, Stewart's character has a 6'3.5" tall rabbit as a companion named Harvey. Harvey, that's what I was trying to get at earlier, not Henry. As a companion named Harvey, whom he refers to as a puka. The film is based on a Pulitzer Prize-winning play of the same name by Mary Chase. Be interesting to know what Mary Chase knows, wouldn't it? Wow, it's crazy because I don't see. Wow. I don't see Donnie Darko mentioned once in this thing. Maybe I could add to the Wikipedia page. I'll add that in there. Wow, pukas are all over. Here's another one. Xanth novel, Cruel Lie, A Caustic Yarn, 1984. Features Pook the Puka, a ghost horse with chains, as the mount of Jordan the Barbarian. Pook's daughter Peak shows up in subsequent books. In The Grey Horse, 1987, by R.A. McAvoy, an Irish fantasy set in the time of Parnell, the Puka is a Connemara pony in its animal form. So, it's interesting because, oh, look at this. Okay, it is portrayed as a bizarre but harmless creature which talks in riddles and behaves in a similar manner to the Cheshire Cat and Alice in Wonderland. Maybe the Cheshire Cat is a puka. Maybe. Something to think about. Yeah, so it's like a description gives an account collected by Croker, a man named Croker, from a boy living near Killarney that Quote, old people used to say that the pukas were very numerous long ago, were wicked-minded, black-looking bad things that would come in the form of wild colts with chains hanging about them. Little bad boys and girls were warned not to eat overripe blackberries because this was a sign that the puka has entered them. Uh-oh. Interesting. I'm wondering now if M. Night Shyamalan was inspired by I'm wondering now if a puka can just change in anything, huh? So it made me think about the movie The Village, thinking about this, these stories to the kids of like, oh, the pukas are going to be out there, they're going to get you, and don't eat the blackberries or, what have you. So it's intriguing to think that maybe M. Night Shyamalan was inspired by pukas. Maybe that was an aspect of it. It's pretty powerful when you blend archetypes together into a similar movie. These things that have such a massive energy surrounding it. And then you blend those together into sort of like a Frankenstein type of thing. And before you know it, you have essentially infused that movie with all of the history, all of the investigations, all of the myths, all of the lore, all of the thoughts, prayers, wishes, dreams, etc., etc. That I'll just call it a permission slip. That permission slip kind of like, has enveloped through the years. So imagine all of that built up energy in that archetype, and you go, zip, and you slide it into the into a movie or into a book, what have you. So there are these things that I've heard about the natives along Route 666. It's been said that the natives in certain, like Navajo and Hopi and some of these different cultures, they can turn into what are called the skinwalkers. And the skinwalkers, one of the legends is that they can change into different animals at any time. They might appear as wolves, they might appear as any number of different things. Sometimes what happens is one of these spirits or entities or what have you appears in your car while you're driving, while you're going down this particular road. And people have said that they've seen hellhounds, all kinds of crazy stuff. And so it's one of the craziest intersections out here. Now you can go in an X along Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, and it's like a Rubik's Cube at this point. Anybody can go anywhere from anywhere. It's very intriguing if you were to see this in action right now. It's really, really, really interesting. It slightly reminds me of that famous corner that they talk about in Tokyo or something? There's that famous corner in that street. I'm sure they're all over because it's just so packed, but a street, my buddy Jeremy was telling me he went out to Japan, and there's no rhyme or reason as to how people are walking along these sidewalks. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no give and take. There's no consideration. There's no, hey, I'm aware of the fact that I'm walking on this side of the street. You're aware of the fact you're walking on that side of the street. Let's just go ahead and just stay in our lane. Let's just stay in our lane. Let's let it go just smooth. And Jeremy said, it's crazy. He just had to plow through people. Because otherwise, you just get bounced around like a pinball. So it's like, do you either carve the cornfield trail yourself? Do you carve the cornfield trail yourself, or do you let the wispy corn flip you around and about? So that's kind of what that corner is over there in Hollywood and Highland. That's where all the tourists, everybody. This is the area where I love. This is another reason why I love taking the public transportation out here, is that I get to see these people up close and personal from all these different places, all over the world, coming here to check things out and match it up with whatever they've seen in the movies, match it up with whatever they've seen on their favorite entertainment programs. It's just fascinating. The different styles, the different accents and different sensibilities, different opinions. That stuff is fascinating. That's a fun experiment, to allow yourself to listen to people, even if it goes against the grain of what you personally believe. But just sit there and let the people say what they say, and just kind of be like this invisible ghost. Just sort of just be there. As it's been said, hold the space. Hold the space. Without feeling the need of taking on the burden of the vibes, without feeling the need of having to go through it, unquote, with that other person. Just let them, you can be there for them without having to step into their shoes and feel that stuff. And this allows you to be there for more people. Being able to put up that barrier of protection, yet at the same time still willing to, sort of step into their world. But just let them talk. Just let them say stuff. And you'll find you'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much better. Because you won't feel the need, you won't feel that impatience of when am I going to talk? Or, going, oh gosh, well, I've got to, I got to argue that point. Or, if I don't say something about this, my church group is going to, you're never required to talk about any of your conversations with anybody else. You're never required to do that. I'm sharing this with you because you're with me in real time. All right, let's put out the vibe here for lost. Okay, lost, fearful, do not approach, call out, or follow. Please call immediately, 24/7. And there's a dog here, but it has no name. Fearful, do not approach, call out, or follow. Maybe the dog's name is Fearful. The dog in the photo does look scared. It's like they took a picture of this dog right after they frightened it, right after they scared it. Like, hey, what are you doing? Oh my God, the Renaissance Fair is coming back April 9th through May 22nd. Whoa, it's going on right now? Oh my God. All right, Dave's about to pick me up. I gotta hang up here. Thank you so much for going on this journey. You're doing great.
David Lynch personally started a campaign in Hollywood to get Laura Dern an Oscar nomination for her performance in Inland Empire. He sat on the side of the road with a cow during this campaign, which was, unfortunately, unsuccessful. Stay tuned to Inspirado Projecto for more fun facts.
Yeah, bro, it's a simulation about that 80s music. So they basically take Tears for Fears, remove the vocals from the track, then they build a backtrack with MIDI files, then they relayer the original vocals for Tears for Fears, shout, shout, let it all out. Then you're listening to it on Amazon and you think it's real, it's a sim. I'm talking to you, it's a sim. Simulation, Whopper War Games. It's all a fake and you think it's real, it's not. It's a simulation like Sim City. That's what I wanted to say because you sent me that message about the 80s not being, that kids listen to the 80s, it's not the 80s that we knew, because it's not. It isn't the song that's on the cassette and the vinyl that we listen to. It's a Fugazi simulation deepfake.
First of all, I just want to comment on Henry D. Horse. Thank you so much, Henry D. Horse, with that fun fact. I do remember reading about that. David Lynch sitting out there campaigning for Laura Dern to win for Inland Empire, and I think I lived out here at the time, and now I'm just like I'm wishing I had that time travel machine right now so I could step into that and I could go back to myself and say, hey, Kurt, go hang out where David Lynch is right now. Just go hang out with him, talk with him, record him, have a conversation with him, record him, talk to him about his new movie. He was out there with the cow. You know what this is? There's this news, by the way. Have you, dear listener, have you heard about the news that David Lynch just might be unveiling a secret project at Cannes Film Festival? And I played you some interesting audio in the last podcast. That's right, I do remember that. That one is named David Lynch and Mr. Rogers and the Search for the Red Candle. That was last episode, I do believe. We still have, mind you, one last episode to go with Cristo Rapolo and Martin Schmidt, two guys who know so much about Monterey, the Golden State Theater, UFOs, sock monkeys, etc., and so forth. And then I have one more episode with Desert Fox and Foxy Lady from my conversation outside of the Hampton Inn that we stayed at in Tempe, Arizona, last time Yachtly Crew played at the Marquee Theater. And this is my first time meeting them in person. Now, on to Man from Man Behind the Machine. Thank you so much for replying to that segment concerning, this is interesting, listener. Have you noticed this, that when you listen to iTunes or Amazon Music or any of these Spotify, listen to these songs that they play on there, they're not the same original songs. You'll notice there's something different about them. They're doing something different. And my theory was that when Apple came out with they're like, oh, we have special surround sound technology or better audio kind of thing. My idea, coming from sort of like a magician sort of mindset, I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if that's what they're telling us as a cover, so they're getting in front of it. They're getting in front of it before we get a chance to call them out for it. Because I've tried to search for this on the computer, and I haven't found any answers. Like my question was, like, why is it that I'm hearing these songs, but they're not the same way I remember hearing them? There's no way my hearing could have changed that much. And songs that that you've listened to the albums of time and time again. The cassettes, the CDs, all that razzmatazz. This is why it's so very important to have the real, actual, physical archive thing. So that's crazy. Now I know, man. I mean, now I know what's going on here. Gosh, AI, that is crazy, man. Whew. And you know what? That's why authenticity is so important, and so good, because authenticity enables you to really, if you're putting yourself in that mindset of like authenticity. I mean, real authenticity. I'm not talking about buzzwords now. And you'll notice people saying authenticity a lot more now, which is interesting, because I started talking about authenticity. I'm not even going to get into it. Come on. We don't need the ego. We don't need the ego here. But, you know, there's this buzzword. It's out there now. Authenticity. It's good. The thing that's, you know, slightly strange when something becomes a buzzword, like, you know, organic, stuff like that. And it's like a buzzword, but then it's hijacked from what that original thing was. You're like, You know, the authenticity, you don't, there's not that through line. They can use all the magic tricks they want. It's like, you know, Pearl Jam is out, have an album, everybody loves them. Pearl Jam disappears, they don't have any new music, and then guess what? Other bands sprout up that sound like Pearl Jam, because there's that thirst for it. Like, hey, we missed that sound, you know, and then all of a sudden, oh, we got 15 other new singers who sound like Eddie Vedder. So they can dress it up how they want. It's not going to have that spirit, not going to have that soul. So that's the good saving grace, I think, that we know with the music. It's we know that you can always get that record. You know, you can always get that cassette tape out there somewhere. It always exists in that form. So that's always very good to know. Thank you for that tidbit. Thank you. And now we're on to something next. Something else is just right around the corner. Something exciting. You hear the bells back there? This is found poetry. How cool is that? On Easter. I had so many great Easter times growing up. Dyeing the eggs. Getting Easter baskets in the morning. Hanging out with the relatives. It's nuts when I think about that. When I think about the past and how that is living, according to Nostradamus and all kinds of quantum mechanics and whatnot, these worlds are living in parallel to this moment right now. It's all now. It's all happening now. One long now. One long now. One long now. I'm thinking that in my mind, simultaneously, that actually truly is happening. Because I'm thinking about it, I'm offering that parallel reality permission. I'm allowing that parallel reality permission to enter my brain space. It's been said that in our imagination, since the imagination, you know, Bashar talks about how imagination is that conduit through which the higher mind speaks to us. And that's why there are these like cultures, these areas promoting no thought, or what is it? Like no thought creation. No pre-thought creation. You're just doing it. You're just doing it. You're going with it. No overanalyzation. No tiny details. No crazy stratagems. It's just actually just creating it right then and now in that moment. Hey, miss, happy Easter. Happy Easter, ma'am. She might have thought I was crazy. Or maybe she's deaf. I don't know. I said it right to her. As she was looking at me and once at her profile, I even raised my hand. That's actually a great social experiment. Just going around town and saying something. Well, heck, maybe you point at people, you go, celebrity sighting, celebrity sighting. And just look at them astonished. Because now they got that question mark in their brain. They get to share that as they go to wherever they're going. Like, oh my God. Someone was enamored with the fact that, I was a celebrity. They thought I was a celebrity. Wow. It's funny, too, because as I was saying that, it's not the TMZ one, but the TMZ has something like this. It's one of those buses for tours that they take the tourists around. They're like, oh, go to this location, go to that location. They drove past me. So it's funny, right as I was saying celebrity sighting, all of a sudden that bus passed by me and I waved to him. Because that's the hope, I think, for these folks. In the olden days, they'd take you past Bob Hope's house. And, catch Johnny Carson as he exits his house on his way to go get groceries. And it's insane that was just like a total possibility. You could just go ahead and do that. No problem. Here you go. So, putting that question mark in their brains as they drive past, giving them a smile. Imagine these folks, they come out, they want to see, like anyone would. Okay, where does Keanu Reeves live? Where does, let's see what those, where's Andy Kaufman's favorite hangout? Let's go see that. Which, by the way, that's still something I'd love to do, is an Andy Kaufman tour around Hollywood to all the places, the places he performed, Cedars-Sinai Hospital, all these different places. His Green Valley Road, his old house on there, Laurel Canyon. So imagine going out to Hollywood. You've never been here, and you want to see celebrities. You want to see them just walking on the street, because that's kind of an idea. I remember when I came out here, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to see them all over the place. They must be just out there walking out there in the wild. I'm going to run into Johnny Depp or something. Like, what? Like, holy cow, there's Linda Carter. And you do see these people places in unexpected places. But I was just thinking how funny that would be is if, like, people come out here to visit Hollywood and as they're going around on one of those tour things, they just see celebrities everywhere, just everywhere, waving to them. In fact, that might be something fun for the tour buses to, like, actually hire celebrity impersonators. And they could have them standing out at these places. They're like, okay, hey, Frank, I'm going out on tour today. Can you please stand out in front of Musso and Frank's? Hey, Frank, can you hang out in front of Musso and Frank's? And, just look as Brad Pitt as you possibly can or whatever. So they could be like, oh, and there's the world-famous Musso and Frank's where Brad Pitt's scene from Legends of the Fall was recorded. Oh my God. That'd just be amazing. Just these celebrities. Oh, right over here, there's the pool hall where they filmed that scene with Robert Downey Jr. in that one movie. And that's the building. That's the one. You got a Robert Downey Jr. standing out there. Oh, my God. Right over there. That's the in and out that they talk about in Big Lebowski. And then there's a dude out there who looks like the dude. He's in his bathrobe drinking a Caucasian. in his slippers. Bathrobe, got his shades on. Hey, man, I'm holding a beverage here, man. Hey, man. Walter. Oh, my God. The dude. So have you noticed the audioscape poetry in the background? I could call it found poetry. Maybe I rename it sound poetry. Ooh. I'm just going to say it. That has never been done in the history of humankind. No one has named something sound poetry. I'm staking my claim for the very first time. In all of the history of life. I'm really scoping out to see if there's someone else I can say Happy Easter to. Here's a couple. Let's see. Oh, they're going down the other. Yeah, they're going down the other way. This one time, my friend Tiffany Lettieri, such a beautiful spirit, wonderful mother, extraordinary singer, astonishing laugher, like from the gut, the belly laughs. Oh, so fun to laugh with, so great to brainstorm with, phenomenal painter. She recently found out that I have a podcast, Inspirado Projecto. So if you're listening, Tiffany, I'm going to tell the story of how you got me that Starro mask, which is funny because Starro ended up showing up in Suicide Squad, the second version. And we would drive around and I would yell out the window, "Constellations, galaxies!" Oh, Dave Uchansky is here. I will talk to you later. Thanks for listening. To Inspirado Projecto.
Even after all this time, I forget that 1 minute cutoff is happening. It's like, right? The big stick that's coming on from the side of the stage to pull you off when you're really bad, not entertaining people. Oh, I apologize. By the way, did I say this is Maria? I forgot to say my name. My number 3 rule, by the way, is don't promote yourself. Don't just come on here and say, "Come listen to my show, people." Do Kurt, show him some respect, for his show. Inspirado Projecto is the show you're listening to. But I'm Maria, and my show is Strong Body, Strong Soul. I'm about energy and spirituality and fun stuff sometimes, and sometimes serious stuff. Kurt and I have had some amazing conversations. Check out YouTube if you feel like seeing us.
Thank you, Maria Humphreys. You got to go check out Maria Humphreys' podcast, Strong Body, Strong Soul. She also has meditations on YouTube. She is all over the place, multi-dimensional, extraterrestrial. It's Maria Humphreys, the star child, star seed, infinite voice, infinite voice. Yes, if you would like to participate on this program, please visit anchor.fm/Inspirado Projecto. You can go to the voice message thing right there. Leave me a message. I'll put it on here, just like with Maria, with Maria there. And Man Behind the Machine. Henry D. Horse called the hotline. That's another way of doing it. Because the voicemail voice message gives you 1 minute. The voicemail, I think, gives you a few minutes. Like a few minutes. So you can call that 561-203-9179. Go check out Maria Humphreys. Go check out Man Behind the Machine if you want. Because evidently, if they feel like they're resonating with this frequency that you and I are resonating with, this to me tells me that you would resonate with their frequencies. How cool is that? I love the sound of that. All right. Coming up next, I'm not certain. It might even be the end of the show. We'll see. Stick around if you'd like to know.
Hi, it's Micky Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
It's a face palm, a balm of calm, like a napalm bomb. It's a face palm, crumbly malm of loamy alms. And how soon do you think you to do it again? It's a face palm, here it come alms, playing Brahms and prom. And how soon do you think you to do it again? And the Holmes from Guam to the cable comes, are the Rom diatoms glom in their moms. It's a face palm, the book of psalms and rhymes and rhymes. And how soon do you think you'll do it again?